What's up, everybody? Nick from Till the End here, and today we're going to be going from this pedal board to this pedal board. Let's get in it. So the studio is still kind of a mess, so I figured I would bring the cameras up here and we'll do a quick video today for you guys. With some shows coming up on the horizon, I've really been thinking about the amount of gear that I'm bringing with me to shows. If you remember earlier this year, I put a video out talking about the gear that I was bringing with me on our trip out to Europe. And I had two pretty large cases with me. I had my Enki guitar case, which carries my two guitars. And then I had a pretty large Pelican style case that had our backing track rig, as well as my pedal board here and all the associated cables and stuff like that. Now, if you've been watching the channel recently, you've seen that I added an inner monitor rig that I built, and that adds now a third kind of large case as well. So when you're traveling, especially fly dates, we got three large cases, plus, I need clothes, I need things with me. So now you're talking three large cases and some luggage. That can start to add up. So I was looking for a way to eliminate one of those cases. Now, part of that helped out with the inner monitor rig because the backing track stuff went into that case. So that left me with the pedal board here. So I started looking for some solutions to where I could really downsize the pedal board to maybe be able to stick it into a backpack or some other piece of luggage so I wouldn't have to have that third case with me. So I went pretty much as small as I could get with a pedal board. We have this Rockboard Duo 2.0 here. Pretty small, compact, lightweight. Now, the problem with this is this. This is what I've been running for my sounds, the Kemper stage here. I love this piece of equipment. It's a great piece of gear. But as you can see, pretty big, pretty bulky, pretty heavy. So I started looking for some solutions to downsize that and be able to fit it on a small pedal board here. I narrowed it down to basically three choices. One was the Kemper Player, the little brother of this. Another one was the Tonex pedal. And then the third option was the Neural DSP Nano Cortex, the smaller brother of the Quad Cortex. I've spent the better part of a few weeks now watching a ton of videos, comparisons, doing all the research that I can find on these three pieces of equipment to kind of figure out what was going to fit the best. And after all that, we landed on the Nano Cortex. Several different reasons for that. One being just the footprint. Like, this is the smallest of those three pedals. So looking to do the smallest pedal board I could, makes sense to go with the smallest pedal. The other thing I liked about this was the fact that I can do captures with this without any other equipment. The Kemper Player can't do captures itself, so I would have to do captures with the stage, upload them to the rig manager, and then shoot them over into the player. So a lot of extra steps there. The Tonex, while it can do captures, you can't do it without another piece of equipment, either like the Tonex capture box or like a reamp box of some kind. So you need some extra equipment in order to do those captures. With this, you don't need anything else. Everything you need is right here in the box and the app on your phone. Now, there are a couple things about the Nano Cortex that some people might consider to be negatives. Number one being the number of foot switches. You only have 2 foot switches on this, which limits you to 4 presets that you have readily available to you. So you have 2 per foot switch, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. You can store more than that on here, but those are the only ones that you really have access to easily. Now, another thing is that it doesn't have any kind of visual display on here to let you know what patch preset you're on, other than just colored LEDs on the pedal itself. Now, for me, both of those are non-issues. During a show, I don't touch my pedal board at all. I've talked about before, all of my preset switching is done automatically through MIDI with our playback rig through Ableton. We send out MIDI messages to control mine and Costas's pedals. So during a show, we don't have to touch this. I don't even have this front stage with me. It's back at the drum riser. The only time I would ever touch my pedal board during a show is possibly to come over and turn on the tuner and tune up a little bit. Outside of that, I'm not touching this. Once we hit go on the show, I don't even look at this thing. So the fact that it doesn't have more than two switches or doesn't have a visual display, it doesn't matter to me. I can load up all the presets I need on this and then access them via MIDI through Ableton. So really, for me, no downsides with this. It's small, lightweight. It sounds great. Obviously, that's the most important thing. And it does everything I need it to. Easy captures without any additional equipment. It pretty much checked all the boxes that I needed. So we're going to get into building this pedal board. Obviously, it's not an elaborate build or anything like that. It's really simple and straightforward, but I'll show you what I'm putting into this as far as like pedals, power supply, stuff like that. So let's get into the build. All right, due to a camera malfunction, we already have the power supply and the associated wiring all installed and nicely cabled managed underneath of the board here. For the power supply, I chose the Chalks Soul here for a couple reasons. One being it actually has your mains IEC power. Yeah, man, that's hard to get on camera there. So you have your IEC cable that plugs directly into this. You don't have to have a separate power brick that powers this, like some of the other power supplies do. I like that. I also like the fact that I can choose the voltage of any of these outputs. I can change. A lot of them come with a certain number of outputs that are 9 volts, and then there's a couple that you can do variable different voltage on. This one you can choose any of them to be whatever voltage you want. You can do 9 volts, 12 volts, 15 volts, or 18 volts. So if you have pedals with different power requirements, this one will work well for you. Another reason why is I had a hard time finding a power supply that supplied the 9 volts and 600 milliamps that the Nano Cortex requires. A lot of the 9 volt options are 500 milliamps. So the Chalks units were one of the few that had a 9 volts at 660 milliamps. And then 12 volts at 500, 15 volts at 400, 18 volts at 330. So if you're needing something that's a little bit more power hungry, look at the Chalks units. They're really good. All right, now it's just a matter of getting our pedals on here the way we want them. So we got our Shure wireless unit here, and I'm going to position that right on the edge here. And then our Nano Cortex, get that plugged in. And we just need a patch cable to go in between. And there you go. Simple as simple gets. As I said, I do have space for another small pedal if I decide to add something in the future. But for now, that's the way it's going to go. Another nice thing with the Rockboard Duo here is it came with a nice little padded carrying case. So you can zip it up and then just throw this in a backpack or, another piece of luggage. Very small. You could even carry this on the plane as your personal item. Here's a little bonus I just found out. Fits right here in the guitar case. So I don't need to take up any room in my carry-on. So there you go, guys. We've successfully eliminated a rather large case and done it without sacrificing any sound quality or capabilities. So that's all we got for today. We will catch you guys on the next one.